Hello, my dear friends. I want to say thank you. I really appreciate your support, your advice, your guidelines here and there. Thank you so much. God bless you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I want to beg you, please consider subscribing. Help me to hit 1,000 subscription. And please do share the video to help someone to also study the Sabbath school. We are here to have a summary of Monday and Tuesday lessons of lesson 9. And Monday is about creation in ancient literature and Genesis versus paganism. That is Tuesday lesson. Now, creation in ancient literature is talking about a discovery that archaeologists made about a test from ancient Egypt and the Near East that talks about creation and the flood. And this story is from the Atrahasis. And the story is about gods who were tired, they couldn't handle everything, they realized the load is too much for them, and they need to create man so that man will come and what, take over for them to rest. And in creating man, they killed the minor gods, used their blood to mix the clay to create man. So this is the Atrahasis story about creation. And so with this story, they are trying to say that this is how the world and human beings came about. Now, when you compare this story to the story in Genesis about the creation account, you realize that the differences are very wide. Yes, the similarities, few similarities are in there. And the similarities, some could be about talking about clay. Genesis talks about man being created with clay. And the Atrahasis is also talking about clay. They are both also talking about what? Creation, meaning the man was created. So these are few similarities we can find in there. But the differences, very wide. Now, people are basing on this Atrahasis story to say that Moses borrowed the story, the creation account from the Atrahasis, or probably the account in Genesis depends on it a bit. But this is not true. If this concept is accepted, then what they are trying to say is that God did not inspire Moses to write the creation account, but God inspired Moses. That is why the differences there are very wide. Now let's look at one difference, that in Atrahasis, man works for the gods so that the gods can rest. In Genesis, God creates the earth and everything in it for humans as the apex of creation, and he then rests with them. So when you come to the Atrahasis, they are saying they were tired. The gods were tired. They could not handle the load, so they later thought of creating man. But with God, he had already planned everything and created man the last day. So man didn't have anything to do in it. God had done everything. He had already planned everything and created and rested with man. And so when Adam came on the sixth day, there was no work for Adam to do than to rest with the Creator on the seventh day. Another difference is that in Atrahasis, a minor god is killed and the blood is mixed with clay to create man. But when you come to the creation account, God didn't have to kill anyone and use the blood to mix clay to create something. God created from what he himself had created. He created the soil, the clay. And so God did everything by himself. He created Adam and then created Eve without depending on any blood or any extra something out of his own creation to create man. Now, the third point is that there is no sign of conflict or violence in the Genesis account as found in the Atrahasis. No killing, no distraction here and there, no I can't do this, I am tired, we should do this, we are not doing this. No, everything had been planned, so it was moving smoothly just as God would planned it. The biblical account is sublime in depicting an omnipotent God who provides humanity with dignified purpose in a perfect world. This radical differences has caused scholars to conclude that in the end, these are very different creation accounts. So this creation account of Atrahasis has nothing to do with the Bible. Rather, it could be that God's creation account, the actual creation account, that's where story told to people, handed over from generation to generation. And as time goes on, the story started fading and changing, and then people adapted and then used this Atrahasis story to create the creation story, that this is actually how man and the world came about. No, this fading of story is normal, it's natural. If you pick 10 people and you tell the first person a story, and then you tell the first person to tell the second person to the last person, you realize that when you ask the last person, the 10th person, the 10th person will tell you a story, but the differences will be very wide. The similarities will be small. And it's the same thing that happened here. So people can say that there are some similarities, but to say that Moses borrowed the story from there, it's a lie. It is trying to say that God did not inspire Moses, or God has nothing to do with creation. Now, when we come to the the Tuesday lesson, Genesis versus paganism, we realize that the story about creation, the account of sun and moon in Genesis 1:14-19. Moses did not use the word sun and moon. Moses was very careful in his words. These names, sun and moon, were the names of gods in those days. Moses used greater light and lesser light. Greater light to rule the day, lesser light to rule the night. Moses, in choosing his word, make sure that he will choose words that at the end of the day will explain God's purpose. Everything will be directed to God, so that a creature somewhere will not be taking glory, or will not be saying that he or she created the world and man. And when you come to the account the account concerning man, creation of man, the Atrahasis story is saying that creation of man is an afterthought. It was after the gods had sat and thought and realized that no, they are tired, they can't handle everything, so they should create human being. But with Genesis, you realize that man is not afterthought. God had already planned everything. And so when the time was due, he created specifically for a purpose. At this time, God said, I want to create man. He had already planned everything. So everything was moving smoothly. So man, we did not come by chance. We are not afterthought. God had already planned. We are part of his plans when he was what? Creating the world. And so God created the world. Therefore, we need to trust what the Bible is saying. The lesson is saying that Genesis thus presents a corrective against the myths of the ancient world. Moses used certain terms and ideas incompatible with pagan concepts, and he did this by simply expressing the biblical understanding of reality and of God's role and purpose in creation. Everything must be pointed to God. And so Moses was careful in choosing his words. Therefore, we see that this creation story from the Atrahasis is paganism. It has nothing to do with God. We need to trust what the Bible is saying, talking about our origin, our world, and everything, and the due respect that we need to give to God. We should give it to God. My dear, thank you so much. I need your comments on the lesson, your understanding or question. Let's discuss this together. Please do well. Share the video to help someone to also study the Sabbath school. And please, if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. God richly bless you.